EA Sports wants everybody to be fans of their game. So there's reasoning behind having Neland Stadium at number 12, which is just absolutely stupid. And we're going to dive into that. Does it at all make you not want to buy the game? I'm curious. We'll go to our message board on that. And how about this? This is something that Tennessee fans kick around a lot. I want to make today's tough question as simple as this. Do you believe the college football world is against Tennessee? Because a lot of people believe that just at the end of the day, that the college football world, be it the television networks, the NCAA, or whoever, they're going to do whatever they can do to stick it to the balls. Now, I don't think that's the case, but we will certainly discuss. And I didn't know Ari Wasserman afraid of ball Twitter. Did he get people upset? Something happened?
I'm not sure. Guys, fill me in on this. Did I miss something with Arya Wasserman?
Okay. Ari said Vol Twitter is the most savage fan base. And we all agreed in the chat. Even Andy agreed. Andy talking about Andy Staples. So, okay. I would say it's right there. I would agree with that. But let's ask that question. Do you believe that ultimately that the college football world is just against Tennessee? That leads us to Hot or Cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. Tennessee comes in at number 12. Number 12. Neland Stadium, number 12 as far as most difficult place to play. That to me is crazy.
On the EA Sports College Football 26 video game specifically.
Correct. That to me is absolutely insane. To not be top 5 is crazy to me. To not be top 3 is a little bit surprising to me. Now, I've been to a lot of these stadiums. I can give you some insight. For those that I haven't been to, I've talked to people that have been to those. So let's dive into it and go ahead and fill in the message board. Who is a non argument? It's a tougher place to play in Neyland. Or if you don't think there is a tougher place to play, just tell me there. But there's one or two places that I would say are tougher to play. It's Hot or Cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. All right, here we go. Let's start with an SEC school. Now, this is the way they're listed according to EA Sports, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So let's go ahead and dive into that. And we'll start with LSU at number 1. I can't. We'll say it's hot. If you agree with it, it's cold. Brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. If you disagree,
that's hot.
I can't argue with LSU. I mean, they set a record for. I'm sorry, they made an earthquake. I've been there on a couple of different occasions. It lived up to the hype. It lived up to the hype even in the hurricane game when people had to be there on a Monday night. I'm sure that wasn't convenient. There still was not a seat to be had in the house. I can't argue LSU.
I can't. Now, I've given my caveat with LSU. It's only loud at night. It's not loud at noon. But at the same time, I mean, I can't take away what they do at night. That it's incredible what they do at night.
Yep. I mean, the thing is, though, the conference works with them, so they don't have a lot of noon/11 a.m. games.
Well, also, it's just too damn hot to have noon or 11 a.m. games down there. I mean, even in October, I mean, you remember that 13-minute on the field game, Dave? That was in October, and it was miserably hot. It felt like August.
I do. Dylan says LSU and Penn State are up there. Lindsay says Jordan-Hare is crazy tough. LSU only at night. Jordan-Hare is the one that gets overlooked more times than not, in my opinion. All right, so we're both agreeing that LSU is tougher to play. Then Penn State comes in at number 2. No chance. Sorry.
All right, I'm cold on it, but let me be clear. I've never been to Penn State, and I've heard. I'm not a no chance guy. I actually disagree with you because I've heard that's the loudest stadium in the Big Ten. I've heard that stadium gets ridiculously loud when they do their whiteout games and things like that at night.
Okay. Now, I would take Ohio State over Penn State. And in all fairness, I haven't been to them. But now I do think Ohio State has a little bit of that old money to it, like Tennessee had at one point before Tennessee's fan base kind of churned a little bit. And it was the sit down, I'm trying to watch the game, sit down, you're standing in front of me. I thought they had a little bit of that, but I think that fan base has been rejuvenated. I also was surprised that neither Ohio State nor Tennessee, and it's this guy I can't remember, Adam Brenneman. I think he's trying to be a internet superstar. He played tight end at Penn State, and he didn't have either of them as far as intros in their top 10. To me, Ohio State should be in the top 5 because of their intro partially and because of the size. And I think Tennessee and Ohio State have the 2 best intros in all of college football.
Okay, so we'll get to, funny enough, Ohio State's number 3.
But I'm cold on Ohio State being ahead of Tennessee.
I'm cold on Ohio State. I see. I'm flipping. The more I'm talking to myself, I'm actually hot on Beaver Stadium, Penn State being ahead of Tennessee. I'm cold on Ohio State being ahead of Tennessee.
Okay.
I think Penn State is actually, again, Penn State's the loudest stadium, I think, in the Big Ten by far.
Okay. Then we go to Georgia. No chance.
No chance. Not possible.
Even if they're loudest with Eric Ainge poking them with a stick, they're still not louder than Neland Stadium on a regular basis. Alabama. Sorry, no chance.
Nope. I mean, Alabama's gotten louder since they enclosed that stadium on the other side, but it's still not louder than Tennessee's.
No. And they have some of that old money. They expect to win. They're not excited when they're up 20-10 in the third quarter. So they're going to deal with some of that, and they're not going to have the same home field advantage they had as they're building that program up in Saban's earlier years. Clemson is one that if you include, I don't know if you knew this, but Clemson was able to. They actually circle the stadium in the van while they're in their full jerseys with the lights on, the sirens and all that. They circle the stadium and then they stop and then they run in an open place at the stadium and they touch this rock that has some significance. So its intro is really cool, but is Clemson as loud as an SEC venue? I'm going to say no. I'm cold on that.
Yeah, I'm cold on it too. Well, I mean, I don't say SEC venue just generically. I think it's louder than Georgia, but I don't think it's louder than Neland Stadium. So I'm cold on that too.
I haven't been to a game at Clemson. I've been to a camp at Clemson, and I would be surprised if it was louder based off the layout. But again, I think you're talking about second tier either way when you're talking about Clemson and Georgia. Now, Florida, people are going to get mad at me.
That's hot.
I'm sorry.
Literally, because it's hot down there.
Yeah. Now, DJ Lagway and Aaron Childs both said Neyland was the loudest place they've been outside of the Swamp. The Swamp is the loudest place that I've been to. And part of that was because of the rivalry that was ongoing when I was covering that series with Tennessee. So I give LSU a little bit more credit because that wasn't a rival. But if you make me pick the loudest one in my 25 or so years of covering college football, it's Florida when it was hyped with Tennessee.
Let's be honest why Tennessee struggled in the Swamp so much specifically. And I want to know your thoughts on this, Dave. I feel like when Florida is rolling as a program and you have to go down there in September, it's almost impossible to win when you combine the loud fans and the miserably hot weather that you're not used to. I mean, I went to a game. The one time I went to the Swamp, it was at night, and I still felt I was going to die from the heat. Honestly, it is what's more miserably hot is a question: the Swamp or Death Valley. I mean,
well, I would have to say the Swamp because I went as a fan and drank 24 beers before halftime. When I went to LSU, I worked. So the one thing that's changed about the Swamp is they don't allow patrons, in particular students, to leave at halftime, go get sauced up again, and come back in. They were the only stadium that allowed people to do that for the longest time. But I would have to say Florida.
That's hot.
So I've got 2 right now, LSU and Florida. Oklahoma, not willing to go there.
Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been there. Oregon's next. Oregon gets a lot of talk. They generate a lot of sound for the size they are. Well, yeah, fine. Bud Webb could dunk pretty good for the size he is, but he wasn't going to beat Michael Jordan in a dunk contest.
Well, and also, like,
Go ahead.
It's a state, like, it's not like in basketball, like Duke, you build that small arena, Cameron Indoor, because it's inside, fully enclosed. Yeah, it's going to get really, really, really loud. I mean, like, there's no way you can make a 60,000 seat stadium as loud as Neyland when they're both bowls, and in those instances, the noise travels straight down to the field.
Yep.
So,
Now,
yeah.
I didn't know this, Ashley. This is pretty cool. So, for those that don't know, UT Hearing and Speech is located inside of the stadium walls, so they do actually measure it appropriately. Huh. I did not
That's
know that.
interesting. Did not know
That's
that.
interesting. I also wonder this, going back to the LSU thing, how many other stadiums and fans have created an earthquake? I mean, are we to presume that LSU is the only one, or are they just the only
It's
one
well,
that
okay.
had one of the gauges running at the time?
It is skewed because LSU is on swampland, so the land is really marshy and soft already. Okay, you're not like that's why they registered an earthquake, because the land is very, very, very soft. It's it,
So,
and yeah, so like it's not like you're literally not on solid ground when you're in southern Louisiana.
all right, so let's keep going because we're still not to Neland Stadium. They're no good. All these home stadiums are tougher to play in than Neland Stadium. It's bizarre. All right, Michigan.
No, no, no way. Michigan should not be top 40. Honestly,
Golly, and not to give that Brenneman guy more credit, but I just saw it last night in my insomnia. He talked about how awesome their intro was. The fact that they ran out and they jumped up and they touched the, they have that big banner.
yeah.
I'm talking about. So they jump up and touch it midfield. Whoopity doodle. Looks like a middle school made that up. And the other thing he pointed out is that both teams have to come out the same tunnel, so it leads to fighting. I'm like, well, I don't know. That's good for anybody. I
And
was
also the design. Have y'all seen how the stadium's designed? Like, it's so far off the field, and it goes out like this. All the noise travels out. It is a quiet, quiet stadium, Michigan.
yet another team ahead of Tennessee, as I don't understand how Tennessee could be this low in toughest places to play by EA Sports. It's hot or cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com.
Hi, Mike Davis here with City Heating and Air, reminding you to always dare to compare. Our team provides quality local heating and air service, installation, and maintenance across East Tennessee. We use only the best equipment like American Standard heating and air conditioning for your residential, new construction, or commercial needs. Honesty, dependability, and customer satisfaction have been the cornerstones of our business since 1961. City Heat and Air.
There's your fair.
All right, Texas A&M.
That's hot.
I'm going to give it to Texas A&M, even though I haven't been there. I've talked to a lot of people that have, and they said they told me that it was one of the loudest venues they've been at. So you're asking me for my final. I would say I'm going to go off my own experience for my final list.
Oh wait, can I say my thoughts on Texas A&M first?
Yeah, let me just throw it out there and you
Okay.
can take over. I'm going to say Florida 1, Texas A&M 2, LSU 3, Neland 4, and I really think could mix them up and reorder them and be fine.
All right, I agree. Texas A&M, I'm hot on. I've heard enough good things about Texas A&M for me to say that, like, even though I've never been there, to say it's louder.
That's hot.
I'm actually gonna go A&M 1 because I hear A&M's actually loud at noon, unlike LSU or Florida. And then I'll go Neland 2 because Neland's actually loud at noon, and 3:30, unlike LSU or Florida. I understand LSU and Florida. I'll go 3 and 4. They're kind of interchangeable. And Beaver Stadium, number 5 at Penn State. Those are the 5 loudest to me. I think those are the 5 tier 1. Those 5 stadiums are tier 1 stadiums for loudness above everything else.
Yep, I can roll with that. All right, so you would have Neland Stadium at 4?
I would have it at 2. I think I'm hot on the fact that you could say the Swamp and Tiger Stadium are louder than Neyland, but I can't get past the fact that they are not loud at noon, those games.
Yep, that's fair. Dylan says, I'm surprised Notre Dame hasn't been named. I actually am too, because I
That's
think
not a loud stadium.
Well, it's not, but okay. That comes back to what I want to share with you about this list. This list is orchestrated. This list is intended to incite confrontation or at least discussion, which is what we're doing right now. But wait and see. Neland Stadium will be in the top 5 next year. So they'll endear themselves to Tennessee fans. The reason I'm not surprised Notre Dame hasn't been named, and no, they shouldn't be. They're kind of an open stadium, a lot like Michigan, and they're smaller. So, and they have a monstrous press box with suites that take up what could be a lot of seating, which would lead to more noise. But I'm surprised Notre Dame's not on it because it's an opportunity for EA Sports to jump on their bandwagon since they were in the national championship game and endear themselves to Notre Dame fans. So I'm a little surprised it's not on. I'm not saying it should be. I'm not saying Tennessee should be 12 either. So I got a lot of problems with this list. Let's remember this is marketing. That's what they're doing. So it's not something that I believe you would take to heart, get too hurt about, but just know that it's kind of absurd that Neyland is number 12.
Absolutely absurd. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Totally agree.
Were there any out there that you thought should have been on there?
Well, in the top 25 behind them, you got Texas Longhorn Stadium, Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium, Doak Campbell Stadium at Florida State, Camp Randall Stadium at Wisconsin. Now, I've heard a lot of stuff about Camp Randall Stadium at Wisconsin that they could actually compete too. So maybe
they do that jump around song.
Yeah, they do. Williams-Brice Stadium at South Carolina. I've heard that one. Well, I've been there. It didn't get as loud to me as some of the other ones, but it does get loud. Jordan-Hare Stadium, you're right, gets loud. Husky Stadium at Washington, no. I mean, that's not no. I can just see it on TV and no.
I'm just telling you, Jordan-Hare should be in the top 10, and Williams-Brice should be right at the top 10.
Yeah. Kinnick Stadium in Iowa, maybe, I don't know. Rice-Eccles Stadium, Utah, I wouldn't know. Notre Dame Stadium, I don't think it's that loud. Carter Finley Stadium, NC State, I can't think that's that loud. T-Boone Pickens Stadium, Oklahoma State, I can't think it's that loud. Same with Spartan Stadium, Michigan State, can't think it's that loud. But number 25, the most interesting one, Davis-Wade Stadium, Mississippi State. It's loud because of the damn cowbells.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. You're looking around, and I think when I was there was like 48,000 people, and you're thinking to yourself, the only reason it's loud is because everybody has a cowbell.
Yes. And it's the most.
But it was cool that it was loud, and it was one of the smallest stadiums you're at. I mean, imagine going to Vanderbilt and it being loud for some reason. I guess they would be slapping together their textbooks.
And it comes only in Starkville could this happen. It's loud because the cowbell tradition started because a cow from a farm wandered onto the field one day in Starkville.
But I love it. I mean, that's SEC centric right there, man.
Man, if you're trying to show off an SEC town to like a northerner, you don't go to Starkville. It will reinforce every stereotype every negative stereotype someone has about the South.